Hello, CEP 200 students, and welcome back from spring break. I hope everyone enjoyed their week off from all of their material, but I hope you enjoyed the 2 weeks off from this course. I know that I needed it, so hopefully you guys are coming back refreshed and ready to end the semester strong. So what we'll do is we'll just jump right back into everything. Everything from Unit 3 that you submitted before spring break will be graded by the end of this unit when your next stuff is due. So everything will be graded by April 10th. That includes your Unit 3 assignment, your General Reflection number 2, and quiz number 2. I've been doing pretty good with keeping up with the topics of the advocacy papers and making sure that I get those approved. So, whoever wanted to start that over spring break was able to. I'll take a look again tonight. I haven't looked in a couple of days and see if there's anything on there still that I haven't gotten to. So with that, just make sure you're checking for a comment that says approval. If for some reason you received a 0 for the grade and there's a comment, it's very possible that I need you to elaborate, or I'm not really sure where the connection is between your topic and what we're trying to kind of achieve with the paper. So just make sure all of your topics get approved before you go ahead and delve in and start writing that. So today we will start with Unit 4. So Unit 4, the topic is working with children, couples, and families. And the counseling careers we're going to talk about are child and adolescent counselors and marriage, couples, and family counselors. I will say that this is one of my favorite units, and that's primarily because we start to cover the adverse childhood experiences study. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the semester, I will go through and try to give you an idea of what the typical clientele are, some things that you might experience with particular clients in each of these counseling professions. And working with child and adolescent counselors and even with families, it's really important to take a look at the adverse childhood experiences factors. So you're going to watch, overall what you're going to do this unit, you're going to watch this video, you're going to read chapters 5 and 8 in Helkowski, you're going to watch a TED Talk by Dr. Nadine Burke-Harris, you're going to read the ACEs prevalence study, submit the Unit 4 assignment, and discussion board number 3. So as far as things that you have to turn in, you're just doing the Unit 4 assignment and discussion board number 3. Discussion board number 3 is not its own separate video. It's actually reflecting on Nadine Burke-Harris's TED Talk. So there are a couple of prompts there. Please make sure you answer all of these. You will not receive full credit. And the other thing is, you want to make sure that you're really showing what you're learning from this. So please stay away from question, direct answer, question, direct answer. Really give some substance to this, really put your thoughts into it, really put some insight as far as what you've learned into your responses, please. And always remember, comment on 2 of your classmates' posts, okay? That goes for every discussion board. So for this unit, the ACEs prevalence study, let's go back. Back in the 90s, there was a study done where a lot of children were coming into doctors' offices with recurring problems, and there was a trend. And so what researchers did was they took a look at factors such as, domestic violence in the home, whether there's some type of abuse with a child, a parent that was incarcerated, parents who use substances, parents with mental health issues. And they took a bunch of factors and they looked at what they tried to see is if there was a correlation between the score of the adverse childhood experiences and long-term health outcomes. So we already know that childhood trauma or different adverse experiences in someone's childhood can lead to, different symptoms and things like mental health issues and addictions. But what about things like cardiac disease, the high blood pressure, different types of physical symptoms and diagnoses. So we know that the mental health and the addiction is correlated, but what about different medical conditions? And so that's what this study primarily took a look at. And what they did find is the higher number of adverse childhood experiences, the more likely that that person would develop some serious health conditions later on in their life. And Dr. Nadine Burke Harris goes through and talks about that correlation and like why that makes sense. So really listen to her analogy about the bear in the woods. I love that analogy. It's my favorite one to use with clients. But it really makes a lot of sense of how trauma and adverse childhood experiences can really impact people long term. So it's a really, really interesting unit. It definitely ties into a little bit of like the trauma-informed care that we talked about in the previous units about, how important it is to approach every person like they've been through something traumatic, because you don't know what they've been through. So yeah, we're gonna learn a lot about adverse childhood experiences in this unit. And I will say, like, at the end of the semester, when I have students reflect on like their favorite units, Unit 4 comes up a lot. So really just take some time to really sit with the material in the TED Talk. I could watch this TED Talk over and over and over again, and I have shared it with a number of my clients. So really just listen and learn and reflect on what you've learned in your unit assignment in the discussion board. If you guys have any questions about that unit, like, please let me know. The other thing I want to mention is we've got a little over a month until our advocacy paper is due. Please make sure you're chipping away at this. I've had students come to me and say, hey, can you read this draft? I want to make sure I'm on the right page, which I will do. What I'm trying to prevent by really talking about the advocacy paper a lot and like having the topic due so early is because I have had students who thought that they knew what the assignment entailed and then completely bombed the paper at the end of the semester, and it completely tanked their grade. So please make sure you're going in the folder, the papers and projects folder, take a look at the sample advocacy paper that's there, take a look at the guidelines. If you need my help, please reach out to me, but we are choosing a vulnerable population. We are doing a little bit of research, and the first part of your paper is going to be about why that's a vulnerable population. So you're going to do some research and you're going to show some information about why we consider that population to be vulnerable. Like, what are they lacking? What do they need more of? Are they looked down on in society? This is all objective. This is all research. So the first part of your paper should not be you telling a story about why you think they're a vulnerable population. It has to be shown in peer-reviewed research. The next part of your paper is going to be the implications for counselors. So what does this mean for counselors? Why should counselors get involved? And why does this population matter to counselors? Like, what is the connection there? So then you're going to do your actual advocacy plan. I cannot stress this enough. Please make sure you are looking at this in the sample paper, because this is a step-by-step laid out plan. You pretend like you are a counselor with unlimited resources. You can do whatever you want to advocate for this population. So you can hold seminars, you can hold conferences, you can go out on the streets and advocate at rallies, you can, get more funding, you can create programs, you can go into schools, you can do all of these things. Unlimited resources. I want you pretending like you are a counselor and giving me your plan on how you would advocate for this population, step by step. And it should be detailed. So again, please, please, please make sure you're looking at the sample paper. And if you do have any questions, please email me, because this is really, really important. So that is it for Unit 4. Again, I hope everyone had a very safe and happy spring break. I hope you guys are ready to get to work, because these last few units, they really, really fly by. So if you need anything, as always, reach out to me. But I'll see you guys in about 2 weeks. All right, take care, everyone.